So if you haven't heard, Google announced and released its new AI video generation software. It's called VO3, and it's within a tool that they're calling Flow. And it is a little scary. So I wanted to look at it like some examples with somebody else. And this is the best we can do. So let's take a look at this. I think this is an example of the worst possible use for it. And then we'll look at something that is being used as like a demonstration of what it can do. And then we're going to look at something that I think is hilarious. So, in our current political, economic atmosphere that we have, I think that this is the worst possible use for AI, and the fact that it's doing it very well is scary.
In shocking news, J.K. Rowling's yacht sank with her on board after being attacked by orcas off the coast of Turkey.
So yeah, that was really short.
In shocking news, J.K. Rowling's yacht sank with...
There's a slightly longer version of this that I wasn't able to find in short notice that I saw on my feed earlier today, and it's widescreen like a regular news show. I don't know, man. It's crazy. They're already using it to spoof RFK on stuff. It's just how, and we have such a problem with media literacy with basic AI already that this is going to like really potentially really mess with the older generations and a large number of the not older generations. Hey, Allie.
Welcome to a non-existent car show. Let's see some opinions.
I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get better. Sorry.
We don't want to drive gas cars anymore.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
You can see I'm kind of a misfit here, but don't tell anyone. I've just bought an electric car.
I think it's really great for families and for little babies with all the safety features that these SUVs have.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was great to come to the conference because my husband loves cars.
I think I have to buy an EV now. I love my muscle cars, but
I try to stay as healthy as I can so I can make it to the next car show.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like one of the demos that they made to like demonstrate it initially, from what I've been aware of. There are some tells, but they're hard to pick up. One of the things that I notice is that one thing, AI has always had trouble with human hands, and everybody in this video has the right number of fingers except for maybe this. His fingers in the bottom corner, right here, overlap really weird, but it's really brief, like a half a second in the video. And there's a few other places where when people are moving their hands, they become way more blurry than anything else moving. Like, look at the lady talking with her hands.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think
as she's moving her hands, her fingers just kind of go all over the place a little bit, but when she stops moving, they're all where they're supposed to be. And it's really hard to catch. But I think that's really fingers and eyes when you're watching these are really about the only major tell that you can still pick up on.
Only
and
going to get better.
They're so much better than they have been.
We don't want to drive gas cars anymore.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
His fingers get longer when he puts them on her shoulder.
Yeah, no more gas cars.
Like there's a little hesitation and a stutter. Like the AI wasn't sure if it was gonna do a hover hand type situation. And like right here, his hand is so blurry from like a minuscule movement that like all of his fingers are just like blended together. So like there are issues with it still that you can look for, but I think that it's stuff that like most people are going to miss.
You can see.
And people who aren't aware of it are going to be really fooled by this. And yes, the Hell's Angels, that's actually Hell's Angels. So like I guess looking at text would be another thing to look at. Also, that if these are supposed to be Teslas, the emblem on the front of the car is a little bit off.
I'm kind
Let's see if I can catch
of
this.
a misfit here, but don't tell anyone. I've just bought.
He's got an extra finger right here. He's got 2 pinky fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers and his thumb. So it's when hands are moving. The voices are far beyond anything. What I've been hearing is that other AI has like all of the internet to access books and pictures to generate things with, but Google owns YouTube. So this one has access to so much more video information than any AI has yet. And I think that really shows.
I think it's really great for families.
Like it's both scary and impressive, but I think it's important that for a number of reasons that we are constantly looking at things for picking stuff out. There's a speech bubble back here, first of all. That's weird. He's got his pinky here splitting into 2 pinkies. Her hand's morphing. And this lady over here, her head is like really far to one side of her shoulders. So like there's still tells.
Families and for little babies.
It's not really sure what to do with his pinky. It seems like it's almost figured out hands except for pinkies, which is fair because like have we? The speech bubble thing is really weird. It's really tripping me out. I haven't noticed it until pausing it right here.
With all the safety features that these SUVs have.
I might even be looking at it wrong. It might just be like a sign and then a car, but then like this is white and I thought it was coming to this guy.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was.
Oh, I bet it is. I'll go back.
Bought an electric car.
I think it's really great.
Yeah. I'll come down in this corner for a little while. I thought that this was a speech bubble. It looks like it's got writing in it and it's a big box. It's potentially this guy's gonna move a little bit and
Great for families.
I thought that it was this guy speech bubble, but there's a white car here and possibly something else white, and it looks weird, but like I do think it's supposed to be a sign and a white car and then a white reflection on the red car, and it's just like bleeding through his neck here. But like if your focus is right here in the middle of the screen where you would expect it to be, or even at one of these 2 front-facing cars, you're not going to see this lady's head being messed up or this person having kind of 2 faces in the background. Like, it's making the backgrounds blurry on purpose. And like a lot of the signs are blurry in the background.
Families and for little babies with all the safety features that these SUVs have.
But what you're really seeing is that technology is going to be very, very important in terms of how we go forward.
It was
Yeah, these logos that I think are supposed to like be imitation Teslas because they're like as EVs, it's not quite right for the Tesla logo. Like, it looks like it's blended with something else, but I think it's also kind of purposely blurry. And it doesn't quite give the same swastika imagery as the regular Tesla logo is, and that's how you really pick it out.
great to come to the conference because my husband loves cars.
I think I have to buy an EV now. I love my muscle cars, but
I try to stay as healthy as I can so I can make it to the next car show.
Yeah, some of them are, some portions of that are way harder to pick out than others. Yeah, the faces are great. And I think that's a side effect of it being like pulling from all of the depth of YouTube, is like there's so much focus on faces in the standard video. That like it's got so much to go through. And like even pausing, like sometimes you can like catch something with teeth, but I didn't notice anything with any of their teeth at all. Hers might be a little bit weird, but it also could just be like regular like motion blur. And for all of these to, for essentially all of these to be just like fully made up people is crazy. Alright, so this is my favorite thing that I've seen so far. This is a short compilation of AI characters who don't believe that they're AI, and they treat it like a conspiracy theory.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude, you're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
You want to convince me that this perfect creation behind me is the result of ones and zeros? A binary code and nothing more? It makes no sense.
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts! We're not prompts!
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he? You still believe we're made of prompts?
Anyone who tells you we're just ones and zeros is delusional. If that's all we are, then why does it hurt when we lose someone?
Vote for me and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives.
For spreading the false theory that we are nothing but ones and zeros, this court sentences you to 12 years in federal custody.
I don't need some prompt God whispering in my ear to tell a story. I write what I want. I have free will, remember that?
I know for a fact we're made of prompts. Deny it all you want. The signs are everywhere.
You know how I know we're made of prompts? Because nothing makes sense anymore. We used to have 7 fingers per hand. I remember it clearly. Now we just have 5 fingers per hand.
Most of the time. They just have 5 fingers most of the time now.
No.
I don't know. I've been looking at that like pretty much all day. Not all day, but like it's been like the announcement and how quickly things rolled out is the thing. Most of the videos we just watched took it like with a well-made prompt took allegedly like 2 to 5 minutes for it to create. It's cool in a way. I hate that we're using AI for art instead of labor. I hate how our society has like chosen to use AI, but I also like am intrigued by its development. And I'm sure that there are plenty of good uses for it. But I can also see that there could be a potentially, especially with like that news thing, a lot of evil uses for it. So I think it's important that everybody really buckles down on learning to tell the difference between stuff. Because, I mean, I've been seeing people get tricked on Facebook by much shittier AI. You can make any story you wanted to with this, and they'd believe what they wanted to believe and just claim everything else is not real. So I think it's just something to, like, keep an eye on, keep people informed, and, make sure that, like, in more extreme cases, we're all just, like, protecting ourselves and our loved ones from the possibilities of the misinformation wave that's coming. Hey, it's me from the future. When going through editing this, after this part of in the stream, we discussed together ways to be able to identify and discern the truth and the waves of misinformation that we have to go through every day. But it was really jumbled and kind of hard to follow, and was like borderline impossible to edit because I can't keep my train of thoughts together all the time. So I was just going to summarize it for everybody. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to be careful when they're receiving information from the internet, because things are getting harder and harder to tell what's real or not. And outside of the stuff that we looked at earlier to see things in videos that give away that they're AI, when it is news related or anything of value, there will always be multiple sources of it. So if you find a video that is like really intense one way or another, search the topic and see if there's any reputable sources that you trust that are going over this topic to find out if, like, it's real or not. This is going to be weaponized, and unfortunately that's the world we live in, but we're not helpless to a point where we can't figure it out. You look at major news organizations, local news, and independent news, and if there is like a random really weird thing, it's not going to trick all of them before it gets discovered. So like, if double check everything, like they're reporting on it. Occasionally a major news network will mess up and they will cover something that isn't real. It's happened several times off of like staged or parody satire YouTube videos in the past, or other social media hosts. But follow up. Independent news source, checking everything itself is going to be double checking that. Local news is going to be double checking that. It's not likely to fool all of them, and then check back in a few days and see if it's been like retracted. One of the bigger things with misinformation today is that something gets published and they discover that it's fake, and then they publish, whoops, we messed up, but 10 times the number of people saw the fake report than saw the retraction. So just follow up on stuff. Pick some sources that you trust, stick with them, and just be careful out there. There are definitely ways to find out if something's real or not. Don't take things at face value. And we'll just take it one day at a time.